Hello everyone, I'm Hennessy, and let me introduce to you first my members in our Practical Research 2 Video Defense. So this is Jaya, this is Rex, this is Winter, this is Dan, this is Joanna, this is Shirlane, this is Felicity, this is Sunshine, this is Natasha, this is Princess, and of course, this is me.
Our research title was The Impact of Music to the Psychological Health of the Students in PHINMA University of Pangasinan. This study aims to explain the possible impact of music to the psychological health of the students, how many hours a day does the respondents listen to music, and what are the status of psychological health of the respondents. This research focused on the impact of music, which mainly affects the psychological health of senior high school students. Data gathered in the research were obtained from PHINMA University of Pangasinan. Senior high school students will be the respondents in order to comply with the different data we need in order to know the different factors of music that impacts to their health. Respondents will be chosen in ABM sections based with the use of systematic random sampling method, which assures that the researchers will not be biased in selecting their respondents. These respondents will be secured and their identity will remain unknown by others aside from the researchers. A questionnaire technique will be used in distributing the questions in a closed form that will permit only certain responses with respect to the uniformity of the answers. Data gathered in this research will be recorded to computer software, and there will be a hard copy that serves as a proof that the research results come from our respective respondents, and with the help of the data gathered, teachers, students, and the community will be greatly benefited by this research work.
Our motivation for this study is our parents who truly believe in us, our teachers who gives their unending patience in helping us, our classmates who also support us, and also our Almighty Lord who bless us all throughout this study.
This study is designated to all students for them to be aware that music can help them to reduce stress. And also, listening to music is an effective way to cope up with stress.
This study will help the teachers improve their teaching skills and attitude toward their performance and teaching skills.
Parents, this study suggests that music can improve the cognitive performance of parents. The background music or music that is played while the listener is primarily focused on another activity. This study shall enable the community to improve endurance and performance. Another important psychological benefit of music lies in its ability to boost the community performance.
Music lovers. This study will enable the music lovers to continue loving and listening to music, especially now that they know that it can be helpful for their mental and psychological health.
This study is designed to help the patients. Listening to music for just 1 hour a day experience is a significant reduction in pain. Such as results suggest that music therapy could be an important tool in the treatment of patients in pain.
Depressed. This study is designed to help every people who is suffering depression. Music might reduce symptoms of depression. Music therapy can be safe and effective treatment for a person who is suffering depression.
This study shall help the researchers to be aware and knowledgeable in the benefits of music and psychological health. Our measurement instrument is to study the aims to determine the relationship between music and psychological health of the students at PHINMA University of Pangasinan. That's why we conduct a survey to those of some individual students.
The research instrument that we use in obtaining data is questionnaire.
The data were gathered through statistical tools, analyze interpret the impact of the music to the psychological health. Respondents through tallying, getting the percentage, getting the frequency.
Depressed. This study is designed to help every people who is suffering depression. Music might reduce symptoms of depression. Music therapy can be safe and effective treatment for a person who is suffering depression.
On the profile of the respondents, from the 51 respondents, all of them were under 15 to 18 years of age. From the 51 respondents, 45 of them were female and 6 of them were male. 4.16, which has a transmuted description of very high extent of exposure to music. On the level of psychological health of the respondents, performance of the respondents was 7.22, which has a transmuted description of outstanding of psychological health. The correlation between the music and the psychological health of the respondents, the computed value correlation coefficient was R is equal to 22. There was a sufficient evidence to conclude there was a weak correlation between the music and the psychological health of the students. Therefore, the null hypothesis is rejected.
Our motivation for these studies are parents who truly believe in us, our teachers who gives their unending patience in helping us, our classmates who also support us, and also Almighty Lord who bless us all throughout this study.
This research focused on the impact of music, which mainly affects the psychological health of senior high students. Data gathered in the research were obtained from PHINMA University of Pangasinan.
Every study, no matter how it is conducted and contracted, it has limitation. The limitation in our study are the first data collecting process. Some respondents don't read and understand the questions, so the answers affect our findings. Also, access to a large range of literature can be our limitations for this. Also, students also have a deadlines about their other work. We don't have unlimited time to do research and collect data. For this reason, time is a very common limitation for many studies.
Our research questions are important and interesting as well because it can catch the eyes of music lovers out there and also the people who can relate in our study. Also, it determines the effects of music of the psychological health of the students.
The most important sources that we used was surfing the internet and by giving our own thoughts with each other to understand and to give more ideas about our research. It helped us accomplish the study because there were a lot of things that have been contributed to our research. It helped us accomplish the study because there were a lot of things that have been contributed to our work so that our research would be clean.
We chose descriptive correlation as our research methodology because it involves the study about behavior that occurs in our daily life. It also allows us to analyze, collect, interpret data, and discover the relationship between music and psychological health of the student.
Our measurement instrument is to study the aims to determine the relationship between music and psychological health of the students at PHINMA University of Pangasinan. That's why we conduct a survey to those of some individual students.
The original about our work are, first, its primary goal, and that is to provide valuable insights for our readers. Second, it is highly credible because all the sources and evidences are already given. And lastly, it is reliable and enriched with facts and truths.
In our study, the strongest part is the data that we gathered from the answers in the survey questions. That is the hypothesis. And the weakest part is the studies that we all conducted because some of them are definitely hard to find.
Recommendations are: students must be aware that music has a great impact towards them. School should bring back the excitement and enjoyment that the past decade experienced to enlighten and give importance to music class. Parents must consider playing music to calm their children and to express their love, joy toward children.
In my opinion, I would not change anything about the research because we did this by ourselves and we picked this kind of research to defend it, not by replacing it.
The advice that we will give to ourselves if we could go back from the start are: first, we need to be attentive enough on the things that we're going to do, especially when we're gathering the data. Second, for us to give much more time on this because it will do great for our study. And lastly, for us to show the cooperation with each other, show the confidence that we've got in the camera, and bring out the love and care for this research study.